Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Harakakadash, double to the apostles and elders of great Musa on the real world, and Shalom to all the brothers doing the like Syrian truth. So this article, and it's funny because the dollar, well, more of a stage being set for when, the dollar's going to be moved away from cash in general, and it's all going to go to that, that Karagma. But this so that's on Zero Hedge. It says China and Brazil strike deal to ditch the US dollar. So yeah, it's part of those BRICS. Again, basically trying to build their own bloc away from, the US, away from NATO. Especially now that China's back in, well, explicitly back in Russia, in Ukraine, giving them ammo, giving them certain things. So, should the US try and do sanctions or whatever, this is a part of the way they can circumvent it. So it says, in a time when the de-dollarization news, when de-dollarization news are dropping fast and furious, and even Elon Musk is now jumping on a bandwagon. It says, what serious issue, US policy has been too heavy-handed, making countries want to ditch the dollar, combined with excess government spending, which forces other countries to absorb a significant part of our inflation. Which he first defined a decade ago, not a day goes by. No, which we first defined a decade ago, not a day goes by without some modest or not so modest shift toward a world in which the US currency, fully weaponized after February 2022, for the entire world to see and fear, is no longer the world's reserve, and today was no exception. According to the Brazilian government, China and Brazil have reached a deal to trade in their own currencies, ditching the US dollars as an intermediary entirely. And that's basically been a big part of how the US has basically been the global powerhouse. Because, other countries in the world, historically, it'll be like, shit would just be fucked. Their currency in a country might be fucked, but then they'll still have dollars. They might trade in dollars because they know it's like, hey, dollars, it still works. And especially because you have like Western Union and whatnot, people as well, same with like pounds and whatnot, where people will be working overseas and send money back. They might just keep some of that in the regular currency, as a backup. The deal, Beijing's latest salvo against the almighty greenback, will enable China, the top rival to the US economic hegemony, and Brazil, the biggest economy in Latin America, to conduct their massive trade, which amounts to $150 billion per year, and financial transactions directly exchanging one for reais and vice versa instead of going for the US dollar. In doing so, China extends its bilateral US dollar exempting currency arrangements beyond countries such as Russia, Pakistan, and Saudi Arabia to now include the Latin America exporting powerhouse. So yeah, a few countries already dealing with it. And hey, funny as hell. But these, all this contention with the currencies, it's a matter of influence and control. And that's a state America's had for the longest. And then, there's gonna be a push, there's gonna be a crisis, there's gonna be the event to where it will be like, look, this current monetary system's got to be swamped. It's got to be swamped because That's where these things are looking. And you have the you know, the recent Silicon Valley Bank issue where it went tits up. And had to be taken over. And it's now like Credit Suisse that everyone's kind of looking at. And it's funny because, oh yeah, they're kind of, well, there's a stink around them, and stink of death. Um, so I said, what? The expectation is that this will reduce costs, promote even greater bilateral trade, and facilitate investment, the Brazilian Trade and Investment Promotion Agency said in a statement. China is Brazil's biggest trading partner with a record US $150 billion in bilateral trade last year. So yeah, it's a lot of meaningful money, and it's basically, well, taking aim at the US. It's part of Cuban Missile Crisis and whatnot was the Jake Dan in Latin America getting friendly with USSR, and now they're basically fortifying that block against them. So playing around with the monetary system will be justified, as a deterrent. But we'll see, because depending on what China does in regards to Taiwan, that's kind of gonna feed into it as well. I'll just read this. Obadiah 1 and 6. How the things of Esau searched out, how his hidden things sought up. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in it. So yeah, Esau, all those allies, all those people that were backing him, all those people who, helped him maintain his position, they're all gonna flip on him, man. Really, America chiefly is gonna be flipped on. It's now in that prominent, the height, where it's that morning star, it's that leader, that shining light for the rest of the world. But that's gonna dim, man. It's gonna be brought down. It's gonna be brought to an end, and part of that is gonna be these allies, these guys that were former allies, that were working with you, flipping it on you, man. So yeah, I'll leave it there. Shalom.